Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow me on every platform. Become a member to the channel and leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wing. Look, man, this whole thing with Claressa Shields, Papoose, her ex-fiance, Tony Rich, Remy, everybody, all the names that are being circulated, right? Understand this. A lot of rumors, a lot of optics. Rumors, optics, and risk. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what to believe when it comes to all this stuff that keeps getting said about Claressa Shields, Papoose, the city of Beecher, Tony Rich, the vehicle, Remy, this guy, the block the block captain, whatever his name is, right? I don't keep up with that shit, so I don't know. But I think it's important to try to frame this the right way because shit can go left. Now, during the 9 o'clock lives, you get a lot of people who call in, and there's a lot of people who reach out to me. Remember, I'm just the guy here who's hosting the lives. I don't go out looking for any information. I'm not saying information is true or not, but it makes for an interesting conversation, and that's what we do on the channel. We have conversations. But let me just say this. There's no evidence of any active threats. I know people out there in Flint are saying there are some guys out there who may have an issue with Papoose, and then there are also ladies out there in NY saying there are some females out there who have an issue with Claressa Shields and have even gone on the record to say that people want to world star her. Let me just say this. I don't like hearing that. Some people out there celebrate. I ain't celebrating. I'm cool with a little shit talk. I'm cool with a little humor, having some fun, but I'm not cool with threats of violence. I'm not cool with threats at all. Because you see, when you start threatening people, people start getting uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden, if a person feels they got to be in defense mode, you know, something that could be quite innocent can be perceived as something that's not intended. And now you got a problem. So as far as I know, with all this shit about, the gangs are involved. There's no gang involvement. What exists is just online speculation. Sounds like there could be a little bit of street talk going on out there in Flint and in New York. And then I just think it's just perception. But perception alone can still create real world risk, real world drama, and a real freaking headache for everybody involved, the individuals, the fans, law enforcement, everyone. Even if nothing's true. This is all about, in my opinion, optics, professionalism or lack thereof, and escalation, not a crime. Now, optics. You just got to sit back and watch the movements, man. Claressa Shields. As much as I want to give her credit. When is she going to learn to just leave shit alone? When is she going to learn to just remain reticent? When is she going to learn that you don't have to respond to any and everyone about any and everything that they do to you or that you perceive as being done to you? You don't need to be, there's got fight or flight modes. You don't need to be in fight mode 24/7. And I don't want to hear this shit about, she from the hood. And you know, we got to support her as a black sister because she from the hood. She got it out the mud. Okay, she got it out the mud. Clean yourself off. You're no longer in the mud. Okay? And come on out here and set the right example. But you want to sit here now, after you cleaned yourself off with them 2 gold medals, to somehow sit them gold medals aside and then re-immerse yourself back in the fucking mud. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and even physically. What you doing back in the mud if you got your ass up out the mud? Mud is dirty. Mud is filthy. I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be nice. Not out here mixed up in shit. Want to beat everybody up. Somebody say something to me, I dare you. You won't say it to my face. You won't do this, you won't do that. That is the mentality of a jailbird. The wrong attitude. Attitude. And look where it got you. Got you out here mixed up in a whole bunch of bullshit where women are actually talking about wanting to hurt the GWOT because the GWOT is talking like things can't happen to her. Optics. Then with Papoose. I like Papoose, man. I don't know how his name got mixed up in crap. Now there's this rumor about somebody, him in a vehicle. Just the good old boys. Never meaning no harm. Man went Dukes of Hazzard out there. That's what they're saying. He went Bo and Luke Duke. Solo mission. Went New York. Some shit about some goddamn car, muscle car, truck, repossession. Papoose went and got it or arranged for it to be retrieved. Some shit, somehow his name got mixed up in something. Who, what, when, where, why, how? If Papoose, did Papoose get mixed up in this bullshit? My man should be out here, count the green. Or like he says, we get money, yo. But he out here counting the headaches that's being created by someone, sound like Claressa Shields. 47 years old. I don't care how much of a tough guy anybody who's over 40 was back when they were younger. If you're 47 and you're still out here feeling like a tough guy, you're still feeling like you're going to bust your gun, you're still out here feeling like somebody say something to you, violate, I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to knock him out, I'm going to punch him in the face, you're still thinking like that, then you're a fucking loser. You've lost in life. If you're 47 years old, you got money, you have kids, and you're still thinking like that, you've lost the plot. You are a loser. Papoose is not a loser to me. I don't believe Papoose wants to be mixed up in nothing negative. You can't make me believe that. Now, I haven't watched these interviews and all that. Like me, I don't care what nobody does. I don't give a flying fuck, man. My focus is my 4 sons, but every now and then I may watch a clip. Drink Champ, Special Ed went on there. I watched that. Vibes Cartel went on there. I watched that. Beanie Man, Buju, I watched that. And understandably so. If Super Cat goes on there, I'll watch it. Rakim, I'll watch it. Big Daddy Kane, I'll watch some of it. You know, I can't watch nothing that long. That's just how I'm wired. I can't sit and watch nothing that long, right? But I did go and watch Papoose because it's so interesting what's going on with Claressa Shields, Papoose, whether she's going to win the next fight, gaining weight, going to Louis Vuitton, up in Neiman Marcus, you know, spending money there. Got the kids getting kicked out of Christmas giveaways, the Layla Ali stuff, $100,000 if you fight me, trying to get on baddies, the $8 million deal. She want to have a baby. She just want to get married. She don't like Sweet Ma. She don't like this. She don't like that. She going to people's DMs. Everything surrounding them is very interesting to me. So I watched Papoose. So let me see what he say, because he quiet. And I said, yo, he doesn't look like he wants problems. I mean, that's what I see. He doesn't look like he want to be no confrontation, nobody coming up, stepping to him, nothing. It seems he don't want that. You know, it sounded like there was a time where he made some bad choices. He dodged some bullets, and I don't mean bang, bang. I mean like where he's about to get himself into some trouble. And things worked out for him. K. Slay saved his ass. That's what it sounds like to me. And he doesn't want to be reacquainted with none of that bullshit. But it sounds like he's somehow being brought back into that world because he's with somebody who has nothing but drama and chaos enveloping them. And that's Claressa Shields. But at the end of the day, if you conduct yourself as a professional, you're going to attract a lot of positivity. But if you're out here being unprofessional, and wanting to be a gangster, a tough guy, tough girl, well, you're going to attract nonsense and you are going to have some drama. You know what I'm saying? And things will escalate when pride and ego get involved. Now, as far as all these rumors about the Beacher Boys, the New York girls, and Claressa, Papoose, and all this shit about a car and money and threats and being put on World Star. I just think situations like this escalate when personal disputes become public. Somebody said Claressa Shields is the one who put out there that Papoose went and got the car. Look, I don't know what happened. Only the fly on the wall knows. But if you have a dispute with somebody, leave it private. The whole world didn't need to know if it's true, right, that Papoose was somehow involved in repossessing a gift from Claressa to Tony that she wanted back. If he was involved anyhow, that should have never been disclosed to the public. Because I personally don't know what's going on. If the fly on the wall could talk, we would all know. But what we have learned is there are plenty of people out here tell a lot of lies to make themselves look a kind of way. So maybe this stuff you're hearing about Papoose was to make him look a kind of way. And I don't think he wants to look like the kind of guy who would go into someone else's city and try to play tough guy. I don't think he wants that. You know why? Because I don't think he is that. I think he's a guy who has sense. He knows how to move because he knows as far as how he grew up, outsiders can't come over there to his area and pull shit like that. I don't think he would go out there and do that. But I don't know. But what I can tell you, when the personal disputes go public, you start to lose control of the narrative. Things get ugly. Property disputes involving multiple properties will always escalate. Those are situations where somebody's gonna get their feelings hurt, are gonna be offended, or aren't gonna be satisfied with the outcome. And then the other ones are gonna sit there and feel like, okay, we got over. And that's what it sounds like to me. One party feels they were done wrong, they don't like it, the other one's like they got over, and then the public learns about it, and the public takes it and starts to spin the narrative, things start to escalate, and that's what it sounds like is happening right now. The emotions spill over to social media, and social media is the same place that went out here, twisted the narrative, and triggered emotions in both parties. So now you got the emotions spilling over, and everybody here is sitting there having a conversation. You got people calling into the live, and they're talking about, we're hearing this, we're hearing that. We're talking to people out there in Flint. We're talking to people at the radio station, talking to the neighbors. We're talking to law enforcement. These are the rumors that we're hearing. Now, I'm going to tell you, if only the fly on the wall could talk, then I could tell you something definitive. All I can do is basically what we're doing on social media is just, spreading the rumor and gossiping. That's all it is. I call it a conversation. You could call it speculation, assumptions, gossiping, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to say you're wrong, okay? Because I don't know. But at the end of the day, one thing I do know is pride. Go ahead. All right. Okay. Pride, ego, and regional identity started getting mixed into the bullshit. Oh, the big time city slicker from New York, the New York boy, came down there with them country boys in Michigan and chumped them. What they say out there in the East Coast, New York, he went and sunned them country boys. You know what I mean? Them in Memphis, man, country has a dozen brown eggs. We eat egg whites in New York. Ain't no brown eggs in New York. Well, I'll tell you what. They got ghetto everywhere. They got bad man everywhere. I think even Papoose knows that. He's been around for a long time, traveling, doing shows. He knows you can't go out there in nobody's city and do no stupid shit, especially behind some female. Especially behind a female. This may sound harsh, but women are expendable. That's my mentality. I mean, I'm married and I'm chilling, but I'm telling you, what you doing out here fighting over a female, going and putting your neck on the line for a female, it ain't your wife? Crazy, man. Never been me. Never been me. Never will be me. Family's different, but I don't even like to talk like that. But I tell you what, you coming up, if I have a girl, something going on with her and some ex, what I'm getting involved in that shit for? bring me into your world because I know something and something lead to something, and something and something and something. And I don't want to deal with something and something. And I'm sure he don't want to deal with something and something because somebody going to have to sit here and take a step back. You know, something and something lead to something, and then you got something. Now your ass in jail. So it ain't worth it. But when you got regional identities, people want to look a kind of way, and social media gets a hold on shit, they start to twist and spin that narrative and can sit there and push somebody to go do something that deep down they probably weren't even thinking about doing. But now their ego, now their pride, and now they're like, well, shit, well, we from here. We're going to show you. Let me tell you something. Cities like Detroit, Flint, Beecher, reputation and respect matter culturally. I know that, man. I had a lot of partners, man. I'm from Flint or Beecher, but cats from Detroit. I had a couple of friends from out there. We all clicked up, man. We just all chill. It's people from all over. You know, when you're in the military, you meet people from all over. But I used to sit there and watch how some of them cats operate. There's a mentality, man, especially amongst each other. I think we all have that, as especially when you're a young man, when you're a male. But you can just see in some cats, like, it's like I must have had more sense than them because as a young guy, I was making a lot of bad mistakes, end up in bad situations. Very, very lucky to be able to go on and change the way I was operating. Very lucky, man. Doors had closed on me, but I was very lucky. Something and something led to something, and boom, here I am. But you can see some of them cats, they just don't care. They don't care, especially when their pride and their ego get involved, and reputation and respect. Once they feel that that's being compromised, it's not good. Even if no crime is involved, if they're made to feel a kind of way, sometimes people, they will overreact. And I'm just going to say this, man. Rumors don't need to be true to be dangerous. The rumors just need to circulate. And that's what's been going on here with this whole vehicle situation. And this is where optics went wrong. From a public perception standpoint, okay? Make sure this volume. Give me another microphone, man. Every time I talk in this microphone, the goddamn volume goes down. Ridiculous. I had a bunch of expensive mics. I don't know what the problem is with this bullshit. Maybe trying to get a new computer and shit. But from a public perception standpoint, a gifted vehicle tied to a past relationship. That's a problem right there, man. You know what I'm saying? This is how optics go wrong. There's a vehicle Claressa Shields gave to her ex. It should have stayed there. It should have stayed there. You're going to take the vehicle. What you going to take? The socks and drawers too? She got him a toothbrush. You're going to take that? Sit there in some bowl of hot water, come back, stop brushing your teeth with the toothbrush? I mean, how far we going to go with the man to go back and, her taking shit that she got the man and giving it the rumor anyway. It's the Papoose. I mean, where are we going to draw the line? And now there's a repossession involving a new partner, and it goes to the new partner. And now you got this whole thing where it's like a right or wrong, a sense of right or wrong boundaries were crossed. And even if everything was legally justified, optics matter. Because that's what we're dealing with. People emotionally attached to stories. And that's why you watch these lives bubble. They're crazy. Everyone has an opinion about everything, and people are attracted to drama. I'm realizing that shit more and more. But then you got the outsider interference, man. Then narratives start to form real quickly. Well, I heard this, and I heard that, and I saw this. And most of the time, they be lying their ass off. They just want to add fuel to the fire. Especially in regions where you're talking about pride and masculinity are involved, things escalate, things get ugly, and the outside interference grows. Now, does this mean wrongdoing? I'm not going to say that. I just think it's poor optics. And as a result, it drives a dialogue that may be off beam. But still, it's a conversation that some people feel should be had, some people feel it shouldn't be had. I think there's nothing wrong with the conversation, but maybe we need more information. But one thing for sure we don't need is for anyone out here to do nothing stupid. I mean, what's this all over? Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields. That's what they fighting over. Fighting over Claressa Shields. Some important distinctions here, people. Papoose has been pulled into a narrative. He's an outsider from New York. And if he did get himself involved in that shit, he entered a situation that locals felt wasn't his lane to come over in. And I agree. He should not have merged into that lane if he got involved. That wasn't his place. I know he said he's the protector, he's the this. Yo, you gotta be smart. That wasn't his place to get involved with that. How many guys out here have been engaged or married at some point in time? But forget the marriage. You were engaged. Shit fell apart. Where's that ring you got that chick? She took that shit and stuffed it up in a poom, up in a cocker holder, put it there in her bra. She put that ring where you weren't gonna get it. That shit is up out of here. So whatever you spend for that ring, that shit's gone. What you gonna do? Have your new chick come, go over there and repossess it. Go up in the girl poom, dig up in a cocker hole, reach in the bra and pull out that ring. What you gonna do? No, you know what happened? That shit is lost. That shit's gone. Forget about it. Out of here. Lesson learned. Don't buy no female no ring. Go to Walmart, get you a $25 sterling silver ring. Take her ass to the courthouse. If you love me, this is how it's gonna be. She have a hit. I anything you want, Ike. Okay, boom. Have a couple of kids, 3, 4, 5 years go by, things going good, then go get her a ring. Y'all may say, hood champion, you crazy. I'm serious, man. But the bottom line is, a lot of locals feel, based on what they're hearing, that Papoose, he went into a lane that wasn't his. So this creates a story. But even if it's true, Papoose didn't commit a crime. He didn't commit a crime. And there's an important distinction here. Being talked about doesn't mean that you are being in danger. But being talked about recklessly can still be risky. And I do feel we got a risky situation here. Because sometimes you get the people who aren't even involved in the crap. It's people on the sidelines who decide to want to make it their business to get involved. And they say, something and something lead to something and something and something. And that's not what you want. Now, I make jokes about it, but this is what it kind of boiling down to from when I'm listening to people talk. The New York City slicker and the local identity from Flint, Michigan to Beecher, Michigan. There's something called identity politics, not violence. Outsider versus the insider. Identity politics. Fame versus local status. Perceived disrespect versus actual actions. None of this means that harm is imminent. It means ego narratives form very, very fast, especially online. Because one thing about the internet that I've learned since I still talk boxing, New Year's Eve out here, they're getting busy out here in the neighborhood. That's what happens when people have money. They go buy a bunch of bullshit and pop fireworks. They be doing that shit all night. But the internet, one thing I learned since I started to do these lives, just strictly making it ladies' night, is that the internet will exaggerate everything. Everything. You can see Papoose and Claressa go out there to Detroit, and the crowd can be carrying him on their shoulders and singing that song, Count the Green, and everybody be happy. But you just don't know. So should Papoose be worried? Let me try to give you a balanced answer on that. What's going on here? Okay, right there. Okay. Let me try to give you a balanced answer on that, right? The short answer, in my opinion, there's no reason for panic. This is not a break glass in case of emergency moment. We're not there yet. But every reason for caution and professionalism is necessary. Still have to be cautious. And there are some best practices for situations like this. I think you should avoid any public back and forth. Like, don't come out here saying F them and nobody afraid of them. I wish they would. Let them violate. Let them disrespect. Don't talk that tough guy talk. No matter how tough you think you are. Don't do it. It's stupid. Just leave it alone. Don't get into any public back and forth with anyone. Let lawyers and legal channels handle property matters if, in fact, this thing about the car becomes a bigger deal than what it is already. Because the fact is, if that man received a gift from Claressa Shields, she should have never tried to take it back. Period. And legally, she's not allowed to. He gave it to him as a gift. It's his. And if he chose to go the legal route, she would have to give that shit back to him. And the watch and whatever other gift she gave him, she would have to, if she wouldn't have took anything back, she'd have to give it back to him. But it seemed like the guy, I don't know him, but you don't really hear nothing from this Tony Rich guy, because he seemed to be there in the breeze. He there just in the bushes watching all the action. He ain't got time for no bullshit. He don't want no drama. And this shit about online, look, there's a lot of people who are paying attention to these situations. Don't get caught up in no online street talk. Leave that shit alone. And de-escalate, don't clarify emotionally. I had somebody calling from Chicago last night. I'm listening to 80% of the people in the chat. You should have done this, you should have done that, you should have hung up on him, you should have this, you should have that. I handle things my way, which is hear him out, control the flame, de-escalate. And then he ended up calling back apologizing, and now I got somebody who's subscribed to the channel who's going to give a contrasting opinion and perspective on Claressa Shields, and he can do it respectfully. See, that's how you handle things. Not the way the majority of people were saying. And when it comes to this situation about with Papoose and the car and all this stuff and Claressa Shields, de-escalate. We all can be emotional. A lot of us have a way we can be too, but why? You don't like your freedom? You don't like being with your children? You don't like all your money that you have and the nice things that you have and the great life that you have? Well, if you don't, then go on out there, man. Be Al Capone, gangster. Go all the way. Just make sure when you end up in the joint, don't drop the soap. Silence reduces risk more than explanations. Just shut up. Simple. Hold your horses, don't take it to the stupid, and shut your big dumb mouth. It's not hard to shut up. And if you don't like what someone's doing or saying to you, walk away. If it's on the phone or on the internet, hang up the phone, get off the goddamn internet, get off the computer, get off your phone. What you're doing there, something you could easily disengage and going back and forth and typing. What you doing there? You got 1,000 PSI fingers, you all over the place. Leave that shit alone. Mick Nicholas, easy. Take it easy. But now you want to make it difficult. People better learn about that silence, man. Because right now, it's a kind of nuanced take where everyone's blaming Claressa Shields. I saw people in the chat. Blame it on Claressa Shields. It's the GOAT fault. She did it. While she was there eating them turkey wings. While she was sitting there, talking all that talk, wanting to brag and do this and that, talking about her hair, talking about her clothes, talking about how fine she is, talking about how she's the T. I'm T. Yeah, bro, I'm the T, bro. I'm T. Let me tell you something. That T shit, I never heard that in my life until I saw that video. I didn't know what that shit meant. Y'all gotta understand, man, you know what I mean? I ain't up on the young boy talking shit. I'm still trying to figure out what this stupid ass blue hat means. I keep seeing people post. Blue hat, blue hat. I'm like, the fuck is this blue hat bullshit? And like one of them little Lego caps. My sons be out there playing. My little 8-year-old be out there playing with it. That's like something from Lego. Somebody try to explain it to me. Now that means something when you're lying. I'm like, what? Say, I've been out the game too long. I don't know who no goddamn blue hat. Blue hat and T. I'm T. I'm T. I'm behind the power curve. How about that? Because everybody to me taken to the goddamn stupid. But for Claressa, should she be blamed? I don't know if blame is the right word. I don't know if it's the wrong word, but responsibility matters. It really does, man. She is a public figure. She is, look, she's famous. Claressa Shields goes to some other countries if it's about the Olympics, about boxing, because culturally, some other countries are different. They may not know about all the online bullshit with her. They may just know that this is someone who won 2 gold medals in the Olympics. The kind of respect she can't get here, she will get it from over there. Again, if they don't know about the online bullshit and disrespecting Layla Ali and mentioning Muhammad Ali's name, if they don't know about all that, and they just know and receive her as an athlete who went to the Olympics and won 2 gold medals, they will treat her like a queen. They will treat her like a queen. But she has to understand as a public figure and someone who, depending on where she goes and what they do and don't know about her, she will be treated like a queen. And as that kind of public figure, her words travel faster than intent. Simple. When she talks, people listen. And that's why so many people are talking about her now, because the things that she's been saying, people are just like, how in the world is somebody with her accomplishments, someone of her status, out here acting like a cockerhole? They just can't make sense of it. All that potential, all that talent. And this is what she chooses to do and say and be caught up in. She's not trying to go out here and be a philanthropist and go out here, man, and be involved with humanity work internationally. She's trying to get on baddies. She's trying to come out here and have a street fight. She want to go in there and throw a wig on with some furs and shit and funny ass, I'm going to get you sucker goddamn Cinderella sandals like the guy Battle Truth was saying, and go walk up in the mall. Like just the exact opposite of what you would expect from somebody with her accolades and status. Moving down the ladder instead of up the ladder. Let me tell you, man, tough talk can be clipped. It can be remixed. It can be exaggerated. If you look at all these YouTube shorts, TikTok, shit on Instagram, people take everything and piece it together and look at what they deliver to the public. Shit that's exaggerated, things that humiliate her, using her own words to just amplify her destruction. She's got to understand challenges to fight, and then challenges to flight. She has to choose the option to flight instead of fighting all the time. Even, she doesn't even joke. She don't even be out here joking with some of this shit. But I just think she escalates narratives, and she's got to stop that. Nothing cool about escalating narratives especially that are negative. Don't do that. Try to find some positive stuff to be involved with and escalate some positivity. We don't need to see you out here openly talking and bragging about kicking some woman with her children out of a gift giveaway. Then this is where the public and social media gets involved. They say it wasn't Claressa Shields' gift giveaway. It was something she was participating in, but it wasn't her event. So she had no right to kick anybody out of there. But again, only the fly on the wall knows. But one thing we do know is she was bragging about kicking a woman out with her kids, then said she felt good and was glad she did it, and talked about karma. Then she talked about God and how she's covered by God and the God got in her and the godly got in her. Some shit she said, which didn't make sense to me, but all I'm going to tell you, Claressa is not a male athlete. She will never be a male athlete, ever. She's a woman. There's a double standard. It is what it is, whether you like it or not. For all the ladies out here, ladies who are watching this video, it's a double standard, but you don't need me to tell you that. You guys growing up as women, y'all know I know what y'all have endured since y'all been young girls, man. We know the bullshit women go through, especially minority women. We know that shit ain't easy. But there's always going to be a double standard. So why you want to come out here and make your life even more difficult? I'm not saying you should kiss ass and accommodate to how society wants to come out here, man, and demean women and try to make them seem inferior to males. That's not right. I'm not saying that. But don't come out here exacerbating shit. They already don't want to like you. Why are you going to give them a reason not to like you? That's what I don't understand. Why give them a reason not to like you? She's a black woman. She's an athlete. When you're strong as a female, and you're strong as an athlete, and you're strong as a minority, especially as a black woman, your strength gets misread as aggression unfairly. But when you're aggressive, there's not a misread. They're reading you accordingly. They're reading your aggression as what you want it to be read as, because that's how you're delivering it, as being aggressive, don't care, violent, ready to go to jail, don't give a shit about no one's feelings. They read it that way. Why are you making it easy for them to turn their back on your ass? You want to have confidence? I'm T, T, I'm T, T. I was born fine, just don't want a t-shirt. Look at these jeans, big old ass. Hood champion calls it the lobster tail. Papoose, come Pap, look at this lobster tail. Hood champion calls it a lobster tail. Papoose, Confidence gets misread as a threat, and to some people gets misread as the person is delusional. They read you as delusional. That's delusion. You standing in the mirror. Everyone should feel confidence. Everyone should feel good about themselves. I'm not saying that, but you in the thing talking about, I'm T. They just put on the shirt, jeans. You got on them big old boots and shit. These boots were made for walking, and that's just what I'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Don't walk all over Hood champion, goddammit. Some big ass boots. Well, she got that shit from the Michelin store, goddammit. I might put them shit out there on my truck. God damn, boy. Them some serious boots. Step on some cockroaches for that motherfucker. But that has nothing to do with anything, right? The confidence gets misread as a threat. It doesn't mean she's wrong. It just means context matters. But in a lot of instances, when it comes to Claressa Shields, she's wrong, man. Okay? That's just my opinion. But this stuff about the New York threats, I think is a bit of a reality check. You know, there's no verified travel restrictions. They're just some rumors, no confirmed threats, just some rumors. Again, like I said, I'm not talking direct with law authorities, but I do have people who claim to be associated with law enforcement. And I'll tell you this, I know for a fact the person is. I'll leave it as that. But I'm not the one in conversation with anyone. I've just had someone that's like, hey, I'm going to sit here, man, and just give you a little bit of information. Do what you want to do with it. So I do what I want to do with it. But I do think the New York threats is only online speculation fueled by past tough talk. But here's the truth. Repeated public challenges make rumors believable even when they're false. But I do feel there are some things being said, but that's why restraint is extremely important. You know, public restraint is extremely important. Being professional is extremely important because it's just not worth it to be out here walking around and don't even realize there's some eyes there in the bushes watching you, and you don't even know people are watching, and they have ill intent towards you. So just be professional, change the attitude, come out, make a public apology, and just try to change up the way you're operating because it's just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Now, this whole car thing, I got to be honest with you. Was it worth it? Look, legality aside, The bigger question is, was reclaiming the car worth the fallout? Probably not. When you're out here with 90K on the wrist, 100K on the neck, you got 5 cars, 4 houses, an outdoor pool, an indoor pool. You got, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. You got G-Wagons. You got a pet giraffe. You got a pet elephant, Babar out there. You got Coming to America in your backyard. Okay, cool. So what you care about some little bullshit-ass car? You know what I'm saying? What you doing? Why does that matter? This whole public narrative, it wasn't worth it. Pulling new people into an old situation, pulling fans into an old situation. Shit wasn't worth it. Should have left it alone. And if you did it, you should have never talked about it publicly. You should have left it private. Now look, everybody got the ears to the street. Everybody canvassing the internet, just trying to find any bits and pieces of information so they can take it and run and tell their neighbor. The goat done got us up in some more shit. Man, we thought it was stinking last week. Everything surrounding the goat stinking real bad now. So sometimes being right costs a lot more than just being done. You know what I mean? I don't want to be right. I just want to be done with the situation. It's like if somebody gets pulled over for drunk driving. You didn't drink, you didn't consume any alcohol, you know that. They're trying to give you a sobriety test. All of a sudden, they have you walk in the line. That shit ain't easy for nobody to do. Walk, look in the air, touch your nose, and walk heel toe. That shit ain't easy for no one to do. You stumble. All right, you're drunk. Get out the car. Get your ass out the car. Put cuffs on you, and they're like, man, what the F? You know you haven't been drinking. Do the breathalyzer. Come back negative. Do the breathalyzer. Come back negative. They still take your ass to the station. At this point in time, you're like, you know what? I don't know. I don't even want to be right. I know I'm right. Fuck it. Just whatever I got to say to get this shit over with and get the hell up out of here. Because it's just not worth it. Get the hell up out of there and get home safely. And that's what people need to understand. It ain't always about being right. It's about, let's just get this over with. Let me go. Policeman pulled me over. He's being rude and all that. Yeah, he's wrong. I'm right. He's wrong. He's being disrespectful. But I just want to get it over with. As soon as I see them guys, I just want the shit over with. Yep, yes, sir. Sure, no problem. Here it is. Yep, license, registration, insurance right here. Yep, yes, sir. Okay. Yep, you're right. Yep, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's all I mean. Yep, sir. Get my shit. Fuck you, and I'm gone. I just want it done and over with. I got to get home safely. I know I'm right. I didn't do anything. I wasn't speeding. But that's how it is with life. People got to learn that. Don't quit worrying about being right. Just get this done. Letting the car stay might have avoided escalation. It would have avoided this conversation, I'll tell you that. It would have avoided all these rumors and avoided dragging new relationships into old business to where now you got all this crap going on with a place called Beecher. Just wasn't worth it to me. So professionalism matters at this level, and it matters with everything that Claressa Shields says and what she does. You know what I'm saying? You don't win arguments. You avoid them when you're at elite levels of fame like Claressa and even Papoose. You don't prove toughness. You prove control. It ain't about violate or demonstrate. That's dumb. You have to prove control, not your toughness. Because you can take the most cowardice person out here and they can out-tough you with this little weak finger here. So ain't nobody that tough. It's that wacko jacko that who goes out there and stumbles across a something and decides to exercise this. And then something lead to something, and you're going to wish you just prove some self-control instead of trying to be tough. Because then it's too late. So the real power, in my opinion, as I've been saying, listen more and talk less. And what I say during my lives about me, I'm Simple Simon. I could talk to you about kids shows, AAU programs, shit about children. I could talk to you about elementary, junior high, high school shit. I can't talk to you about none of the other bullshit like when I was 11-year-old up to age 25 being involved in ignorance. I can't tell you about that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't care. That's the past. I'm all about where I'm at now presently, trying to move forward. And you know what? My life my life and my power can be pretty goddamn boring. Can be pretty quiet, but everything I do is legal. And Hood Champion ain't got nothing to worry about when it comes to nobody trying to stress me going to jail, me having any problems. And that is the life that I think most of these elite folks that are public figures that got the Wu-Tang cream, ching ching, and everything that most people feel that they would like to have. Learn to be boring, learn to be quiet, learn to be legal. And that, in my opinion, is real power. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. In the break.